Hello everybody! My name is Elizabeth Lawfer, and I am a senior at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. This is me in Ireland during the semester that I studied abroad. Today, I'd like to share a voice thread with you about my first day in the city of Dublin. As my first experience in a foreign country, I had no idea what to expect when I stepped off the bus in the center of the city. In only one day's time, I learned so much about the history, culture, and landscape of Ireland's largest city, and I would like to share my experience with all of you. Today, I'd like all of you to join me on a bus ride through the city of Dublin. The bright yellow and blue double-decker buses will take you anywhere in the city that you want to go. Here comes one now. Everybody hop on board. Before we begin our tour, though, first let's take a look at where Ireland is located. Ireland is an island located off the coast of the continent Europe. It is part of the United Kingdom. On the map, you can see that it is right next to England and Scotland, two countries that you've probably heard mentioned before. Ireland is separated from these countries by the Irish Sea, which runs directly down the middle here. On the east coast of the island is Dublin, which is where I spent a semester studying abroad. Today, we will be taking a journey through the city of Dublin. Our first stop is coming up. Let's get off the bus and start our day. When I got off at the bus stop on Fitzwilliam Street in the center of the city, I could not help but stop and stare at the beautiful Georgian townhome that stood right in front of me. The face of the home was covered in brightly colored vines, and each leaf was blowing in the wind. Many homes in the south end of the city look just like this one and are popularly known for their brightly colored front doors, which you can see this red one right here. When I could finally pull myself away from my dream home, I decided to walk along the Liffey River, which runs directly through the center of the city. You will never guess what I saw when I peered over the railing of the bridge. Hundreds of people were swimming in the water. I asked someone standing nearby why so many people were swimming in freezing cold water. They told me it was an event called the Liffey Swim. The Liffey Swim is an annual event where people come from all over Ireland to compete in a swimming race. The river not only serves a practical use as the main water source for the city, but also brings beauty and entertainment to the people. I could not believe that on my first day in Dublin, I happened to stumble upon such an exciting event. After the race, I hopped back on the bus and headed for the coast. A few stops later, I had made it to the Howth Peninsula, which is part of a small fishing village just north of the city. Here you can see the spectacular view from the hike that we went on. The view from the peninsula took my breath away. I felt like I was standing on top of the world. It was hard to believe that such a short bus ride took me away from the busy streets of the city and brought me to a beautiful coastal landscape like this one. By this point in the day, I was starving. Since I was in a fishing town, I decided to try my first plate of fish and chips. This is a very popular dish in Ireland and other parts of the United Kingdom as well. But why on earth would you want to eat chips with your fish? Actually, in Ireland, they call French fries chips. Next time you go out to eat, just think about what it would be like to order a cheeseburger with chips. After lunch, it was back on the bus to head back into the city to check out some of the beautiful architecture that I had heard so much about. First stop was Christ Church Cathedral. This is the oldest medieval cathedral in Dublin. Inside, it is very popular for the beautiful decorations and high arching ceilings. Look how many arches there are. I could not believe how the arches stretched across the entire ceiling and were illuminated by all of the beautiful lights and chandeliers. I couldn't believe my eyes. Like many of the churches in Ireland, Christ Church Cathedral is full of brightly colored stained glass windows, like the one pictured here. The windows sparkle in the light when it shines through them and illuminates the entire interior of the church. Everything about the cathedral was breathtaking and told me so much about the history and culture of the Irish people. Right down the street from the cathedral, I found my second destination of the afternoon. As a college student myself, I was curious to see what a school looks like in Dublin. Trinity College is Dublin's oldest and most prestigious university. Here you can see the beautiful campus that includes a large clock tower, which is pictured here. The school is also home to the library that was used for the filming of Harry Potter. Unfortunately, when I was there were no signs of wizards, but I did see walls covered from floor to ceiling in books. Look at how the books stretch all the way from the floor 2 stories up to the very top of the ceiling. The librarians have to use ladders in order to get the books off the very top shelf. Oh no, look what time it is. It's starting to get late. We better get going. I still have one more place I want to show you. If we hop back on the bus and head south out of the city, we will come to another coastal town called Bray. But unlike the sandy beaches we are used to in the United States, this beach is covered in pebbles. They come in all different shapes and sizes, and I couldn't help but bring some home with me as souvenirs. But something you will recognize that's similar to our beaches are the seagulls that fly up and down the coastline. Right down the beach, there's a popular hiking trail that takes you to the top of a hill called Bray Head. Once I reached the summit, which is another way for saying the top, I witnessed one of the most spectacular views I had ever seen. From the top of Bray Head, you can see the entire city of Dublin, stretching all the way to the Howth Peninsula that we visited earlier, which is all the way down here. Isn't it beautiful? What a perfect way to end our day in Dublin. Phew, what an exhausting day. Now I want you to take a minute and think about all the amazing things we saw today. We got to see the busy streets of a crowded urban city. We got to experience parts of the culture in the food we ate and the buildings we saw, and only a short bus ride revealed the beautiful landscapes that surround the city. Now I'd like to ask you a few questions about what we learned today. What was your favorite part of the bus tour through Dublin? Please pause the video to allow the students a few moments to respond to the question. What things did you see that were different from your home country? Please pause the video again to allow time for responses. What things did you see that were the same as your home country? Please pause the video once more to allow the students to respond. I hope you had as much fun as I did experiencing all the different parts of Dublin. Thanks for joining me today on our bus tour.